Hey friends, Lissa here for another video for my Vlogmas. Before we talk about the subject today, which would be why I personally think that I kept failing trying to do a raw vegan diet for the last 10 years. Yes, I've known about it for that long and it hasn't stuck until now, but I'm going to talk about why I feel that I couldn't sustain it every time that I would try. I think the longest I went was about 2 months right before I got married. But otherwise it was always a couple days to maybe a week or two, and I was never able to completely stick to it, but I'll get to that in a second. I had a couple people mention that they want to hear a little bit more about me, so before we start I want to show you something that a lot of you might not know, but I am an artist and I paint and draw with a pencil and I paint with acrylics, and this is something that I wanted to show you guys. I don't know if I'm able to bring my selfie stick longer. Here we go. This is something that I painted a long time ago, but it's Lord of the Rings and it's painted with acrylics on canvas. So as you can see, it's quite massive and I paint. So that's something that you guys might not know about me, but I paint and I draw, and actually I think I will include some of my pencil work right here for you guys to check out if you want to see what I do. So as you can see, I love to draw and I want to eventually do something, maybe after my book is done and my cookbook, all that kind of stuff. Once that's all done, I want to start doing art and selling things like calendars or postcards or something like that, and some of the proceeds will be going towards animal shelters and maybe farm sanctuaries, somewhere where that can promote a more vegan lifestyle. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Obviously, when it starts, you'll find me on Facebook and Instagram posting about it, so you guys can check that out later. But I wanted to share a little bit about myself, and that is something that is very special to me because I'm an artist, creative at heart, and that is just something I wanted to share. So, but now we're going to talk about why I feel like I failed doing raw vegan in the past. So I've known about raw vegan for 10 years-ish, maybe 11 now. I found it around 2004-ish, give or take, and I was introduced to Professor Arnold Ehret's mucusless diet healing system. I thought it was really extreme at the time, so I never actually followed it, but it opened me up into the world of raw food and veganism. I never... the one thing that I feel that kind of made me fail in the past, the first one, would be that I never had a vegan connection. I never actually watched movies like Earthlings, or, I mean, I did, but I never actually had that deep connection to the reasons why people choose to be vegan. So I was doing it more for health than anything, which I think that when people are doing it for health, it's not necessarily a driving determination. Once they make the connection between the compassion and the animal rights with the food, that is where the strength comes from to remain vegan for pretty much as long as you remain vegan for, mostly a lot longer than just doing a plant-based diet for health. I fell into a realm of people who believed that if it was raw, it was fine to eat. So there was a lot of avocados, a lot of nuts, a lot of coconut, and a lot of people were saying that it was okay to eat animal products if they were raw. So I did a lot of sashimi, sushi, which is loaded with parasites. I did tartare. I did raw eggs in my smoothies, and I hunted down raw milk and raw cheeses. I do regret doing all of that, but at the time, there wasn't a lot of information that I could find surrounding why it wasn't so great to eat the animal products. And I know I could have read the China study and I could have done those things, but at that moment in my life I wasn't really like deeply connected to the animals, so I was consuming those, which was causing me to fall off a lot of the times. And sometimes I would do straight raw vegan and I wouldn't do any animal products and I would just do raw, but it was always high fat. And that's the second thing that always made me fall, was too much fat. I remember reading through one of my journals, and every time I would have golden berries or fruit or berries after lunch, I would always comment in there that I felt like I was having a serious blood sugar crash, and I would get super tired and I would wonder why, and I'd be like, oh, I ate way too many golden berries. Which now, looking back, I could eat all the golden berries I want and I won't get that sugar crash. But it was because I would put a whole avocado in my smoothie in the morning, and then I would munch on nuts and seeds as snacks throughout the day, and then I would have my golden berries and crash, because the fat actually impedes insulin from doing its job, from getting the sugars into your cells so that you can use them as energy. So the high fat thing was definitely one of my downfalls. I personally was probably eating, most gourmet raw vegans are eating close to 50 to 65% fats. It's quite high. An avocado can easily push me way over the 25% mark, which is way too high for me, and I get really tired when I hit that level. So just have to watch your fat intake and listen to your body and see where you start to feel that sluggishness, the tiredness, and eventually you can tone down on the fats. Maybe have half an avocado, a quarter of an avocado, or whatever part of your life. I, again, don't eat them very often. Probably once every couple months I'll have half. But yeah, so that was one of the reasons. The third reason was I wasn't eating enough food. I entered into Chronometer a lot of some of my days from my old journals when I was a raw vegan in the past. And most days I wasn't even hitting 800 to 900 calories. And I thought I was eating a lot of food, but I wasn't really eating a lot of food. I was eating a lot of fat. Not enough fruits and vegetables. Definitely not enough fruits and vegetables. I would have my little salad, which just be a little one. And, you know, the bulk of my calories came from, again, fats. So that was another one that was causing a lot of problems because I actually wasn't getting enough energy and I was feeling really tired. So I would always default back to eating cooked food because I felt maybe raw wasn't for me. So I would move back over there. I focused the fourth reason was focusing on what I couldn't eat instead of what I could. I would always be like, oh, I can't have that. And I would get all sad that I couldn't have my Chinese food and I didn't have my cheat days anymore. And I was always focusing on the things that I could never have again. Why focus on something that's you can never have again? Why not focus on what you can eat every day? Why not focus on the stuff that that's readily available, that you can have all the time? Focus on that. Stop focusing on the stuff that you're never going to eat again, because you're never going to eat it again. So don't worry about it. Just forget about it. It's non-food and it's not serving your body. So focus on what you can have. There's tons of stuff you can have. Bananas and fruits and veggies and everything, and huge salads, and there's plenty of dressings on the internet that you can find. Follow Tani Raw and Jack from Raw Tropical Living, and oh gosh, the Fully Raw Christina. Like, there's so many people out there who have amazing recipes on their YouTubes, and you can just Google them. There's tons of them. Just find some that you really like and focus on fruits and vegetables, and focus on freshness and hydration and nutrient-dense foods, leafy greens, and all the beautiful colors that you can eat. Focus on that and stop focusing on the things that are just not serving you. Just let them go, because it's not worth it. The last reason why I continually failed was not learning how to say no to family and friends. Trying to please people is not going to please yourself. You are going to constantly fall off the wagon if you keep saying yes to these people. And I know you might love them, and I love my family too, but I have to say no. And eventually they get it. They understand. And I've talked about this in many videos before. They'll eventually get it. they eventually see that you're serious and you're just not gonna say yes eventually, they will come around. And if some of you have watched my Thanksgiving video, you gotta check it out. I'm gonna put a link to that below, because my dad is not close to vegan. He's mentioned before that he might want to, and I will help him if he has any questions on that. But I have said no so many times to stuff that he's offered, or he'll talk about some new thing and I'll be like, oh, that sounds great, but I would never eat it. So with time, he's learned that I am gonna say no, and it doesn't matter what it is, I won't eat it. So for Thanksgiving, he actually went online and he found a raw vegan salad that he made with jicama and oranges and citrus and stuff. And he made this little salad for our raw vegan potluck, which was so sweet. It touched my heart because I believe that the more you stand strong in your beliefs, the more people will come around in your life. It's just so normal for us to say yes all the time to please people. But if it's hurting you, if you're having, you know, like if you have a problem eating something that someone made, like a cookie or whatever that has eggs or butter in it, if you have an ethical problem with eating that, say no. It's okay to say no. You can say no with a thank you, with an I love you, with a that's so thoughtful of you, but I just can't have that. And you just have to, because you're the only one that counts. You're the only one that puts the foods in your body, so you can do it. I know you can. So those were the reasons why I felt that I was failing at my raw vegan diet, and those are the things that I don't do anymore that are keeping me more successful. So I hope you guys like my video. Please click like and subscribe to my channel. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouFood, all at Raw Food Romance. And yes, I will post more of my art later for you guys. So until the next video, I'll see you tomorrow. Fruit on.